Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Boomer Gamer Memories. Welcome back to the Great Late Reviews. But to be completely honest, we could use those names interchangeably in many cases. I guess in recent years we got a Hollywood treatment in video games as well. So many remasters, remakes and reboots. Maybe it's like that in all human history, that after the era of plentiful progress we got into stagnation, depression and even regression in creativity. After the immense achievements of ancient era, we entered over 1,000 years of dark ages called medieval, so we could finally get our renaissance. Maybe, just maybe we need those grim and hard times just to spark another period of greatness. Who knows? But not all of that repeating of already established pieces of culture is bad. Not at all. As I said on some occasions, we need to preserve what is best in every aspect of our history. After all, we preserve and renovate so many paintings, sculptures and even whole buildings. Ship of Theseus comes to mind. How much can we restore or even innovate to still identify a piece of work as true to original? We don't even know that, but I am sure it is worth the effort to secure what is precious to us, until there is less of us. But the name of the game we're gonna discuss today is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Let's begin, shall we? Resident Evil 4 was my least favorite in the series. Even if its gameplay was very good, I just felt out of place suddenly going through Spanish village and shooting peasants instead of zombies. It rubbed me the wrong way, but when I think about it today, I come to the conclusion that the series needed a change of scenery. We could simply not remain in the Raccoon City. It would got stale and uninteresting. Story in this remake remains mostly the same, with some adjustments to make it more understandable and deeper when it comes to the origin of Las Plagas, which is the name of a mutation factor in this entry of the series. Those nasty parasites. Good thing we got to destroy them during the storyline. But Leon's main concern remains finding and securing Little Eagle, daughter of a US president that's named Ashley. But hold on, villagers and other creeps are not gonna make it easy for him. Hell no, she is of most importance for the Lord Sadler's plans, so we gotta play as Leon and go to hell and back in order to succeed in our mission. But hold on again, our protagonist gets infected with those pesky parasites, so is Ashley. We got our work cut out for ourselves. You know, there was a time when I wanted to go to Spain for a vacation. I do not feel this way anymore. But fear not, there will be a few additional characters that will add us in our journey to get rid of Las Plagas, and to get the hell out of that cursed place. I was really satisfied how it all ended, cause it is not one-to-one retelling of Resident Evil 4 story. I'm gonna keep the rest of it for you to uncover, cause it is one of the main points and pleasures of this game. And it is a game after all, so as always the gameplay remains the most important aspect of it. Like a good gamer boomer that I am, I have chosen the middle of the road standard difficulty level. It is most appropriate for me in most games, and when it isn't, I will just adjust it accordingly. The movement and combat are very fluid, as the previous remakes of Resident Evil got us used to. This is the quality I would love to feel in all games, but of course it is only wishful thinking. This time around combat is even better. Shooting enemies is mixed with melee combat that consists of roundhouse kicks and stabbing foes in many satisfying ways. Decent players can use it to their advantage and save precious ammunition. To use it effectively though, you need to keep pretty close distance to enemies, so you can get in melee range just in time window to take them down. On the side note, the shopkeeper is back and he has some nice gear in stock for us to use and enjoy. Much appreciated. You're gonna need as powerful weapons as fast as you can get hands on them, cause special enemies are introduced very early in the game and they gonna pose a real challenge, so you're gonna be on your toes hefty amounts of time. I like it like that. But do not get fooled, basic foes are still very dangerous and can get you down in no time if you are not careful around them. There is one aspect in combat that I didn't enjoy, mainly the roundhouse kick can kill enemies that were not heavily damaged already. I do not know if it's a bug or a feature, but I am not a fan of that, let me tell you. Another thing that bothers me mildly during gameplay are side quests. I think they are immersion breaking, so I ignore them most of the time. Yeah, I know that it's the game's convention, decent horror story mixed with heavy arcade action elements. It was always like that in Resident Evil, as far as I can remember. But still, I would prefer the game without it. What I would leave in game, on the other hand, are puzzles, which in my opinion are still best in the industry. They are complex enough for you to think hard sometimes, but easy enough that you can solve them in reasonable time, and that avoids the frustration and feeling of wasting your time. Another great thing is the different amounts of enemies you fight at the same time. It is really well balanced, fitted to the environments adequately, where sometimes there is just a few walking dead that you have to eliminate, and other times you got a mini horde on your hands. The only thing that annoyed me when going through the well-designed locations was the map that is traditionally for the series oftentimes hard to read and got all the vertical levels separately. It frustrated me to the point where I would not open the map if it was not absolutely necessary. Gameplay itself is not free of faults as well. For one, in previous entries in the series you had to survive by killing enemies or avoiding them and running away, oftentimes in the smart ways in order to avoid getting got, so to speak. Here your only option is to kill all the enemies and move on, which is not appreciated in survival horror genre. Yes, I know that Resident Evil 4 was a pivotal point that put those games into more action-oriented style, but still it sucks a little bit. Another thing that sucks is that one of the boss fights is a QTE fest. Good thing that only one of them. Overall gameplay is great with a good pacing, and for me there was not really a dull moment, to be honest. Very solid indeed. What is even more rock solid, the Resident engine itself. It looks and plays very good. The game on high settings looks amazing. Lights and shadows are very impressive even without ray tracing turned on. The style of presentation itself is to my taste gloomy and gritty. Feels like home. Well, there is a low polygon object or low resolution texture from time to time, but it is so rare that it haven't bothered me almost at all. Another thing is that very performant shading comes at the cost of some graininess in some places, and it's not looking good. I have one important advice when it comes to graphical settings. You really need to turn off screen space reflections that look awful in this title. I don't know what went wrong, but its implementation is a buggy and blurry mess. But to comfort you high fidelity enjoyers, fortunately cubic maps are very good here and they do not make a mess out of reflective surfaces. You can of course turn on ray tracing, but it comes at very heavy cost of performance and responsiveness. Music is, like always, very good and fitting for the game setting. Nothing out of order here, just listen and enjoy. Rest of the sound design is on the high level as well. Nothing stood out in a negative way, so good job sound team. Well, wait a moment. I have one complaint. Please turn down the frequency of Ashley's moaning. It was distracting and annoying sometimes. Some people may even enjoy it, but I am most definitely not one of them. All in all, it took around 15 hours for me to finish the game. It is a decent length for the Resident Evil title. I still remember the fiasco of Resident Evil 3 Remake, where it was around 4 hours of gameplay. Yikes! Overall, I think that the remake is better than the original, which was already critically acclaimed. It doesn't abandon its roots, on the contrary, it embraces them and polishes what it is to the highest possible level. That's what I like to see, and I hope Capcom continues on the good trend of releasing new entries in the series, as well as refreshing the rest of its old catalog. I can recommend this game to both old veterans of Resident Evil and to new players alike. This is a great piece of entertainment that I'm happy I spent my time on. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I will see you next time in another Great Late Review.